The U.S. Secret Service screwed up so badly that its director just resigned. Will the U.S. uncover what really happened during the Trump assassination attempt? Welcome to America Uncovered. I'm Chris Chappell. Someone in the U.S. Secret Service messed up bad. The agency failed to stop an assassination attempt on Trump. I know it's a meme to say you had one job, but protecting people from assassination attempts, that's literally their one job. There are a lot of unanswered questions. How could a 20-year-old manage to take such a shot? Why didn't anyone stop him from getting to that point? Has this agent ever actually used a gun holster before? And so all eyes are on Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheatle. She has nearly 30 years at the agency, having left the agency in 2021 for a private sector stint at PepsiCo until President Joe Biden tapped her as director in 2022. People on both sides of the political aisle are scrutinizing Cheatle's handling of Trump's security, especially after hearing her remarks on ABC News, where she suggested that the roof used by the shooter was too dangerous for agents to stand on. Yes, because while taking a bullet for someone is part of the job, you wouldn't want them to do anything as dangerous as standing on a slightly sloped roof. The comment spawned a lot of memes, lots of them. "It's over, Anakin. I have the sloped roof." Wow, they found a way to make the prequels even dumber. Cheatle claims that local counterparts were responsible for securing the outer perimeter at the Trump rally. In other words, shift the blame onto others. Up to this point, no Secret Service employees have been disciplined for the failures at the Trump rally. Cheatle would not commit to firing anybody after the agency's internal investigation is complete. Yeah, because why fire somebody for failing at their one job? It's not like they showed any sort of incompetence. Holsters can be tricky. Congress called on Cheatle to testify about what went wrong. And boy, let me tell you, the testimony itself was a colossal disaster. Cheatle began her testimony with an opening statement admitting that the Trump assassination attempt was the Secret Service's most significant operational failure in decades. That was her opening. That'd be like being on trial for murder and starting with, "Yeah, I killed him, but let me now explain why you need to chill out about it."
On July 13th, we failed. As a director of the United States Secret Service, I take full responsibility for any security lapse of our agency. We are fully cooperating with ongoing investigations. We must learn what happened, and I will move heaven and earth to ensure that an incident like July 13th does not happen again.
That's right, she'll move heaven and earth anywhere besides a slightly sloped roof. But as much as she claimed full responsibility, Cheatle initially resisted stepping down.
I think that I am the best person to lead the Secret Service at this time.
I'm pretty sure a pile of bricks would have done a better job of shielding Trump. Plus, it'd make him love walls even more. For all her talk on cooperating with ongoing investigations into the Trump assassination attempt, she was very tight-lipped. She frequently claimed that she was waiting for more information, but promised that the Secret Service's internal investigation and corresponding report will be completed in just 60 days. Lawmakers asked all sorts of questions like why the Secret Service didn't station agents on the rooftops used by the shooter. Who decided that the warehouse roof should be outside the Secret Service's security perimeter for Trump's rally? How did the shooter manage to bring a firearm to the Trump rally? Why did the Secret Service allow Trump to take the stage despite people in the crowd pointing out a gunman on the warehouse roof? Her plan had so many holes in it, it's like a gunman shot them up too. Even AOC tore her apart.
The individual used an AR-15 in order to act out his assassination attempt. An AR-15 has a range of about 400 to 600 yards. My question is, why does the Secret Service perimeter, why is the Secret Service protective perimeter shorter than one of the most popular semi-automatic weapons in the United States?
Very good question. But guess what? Cheatle kept dodging these questions, almost as though she knew nothing at all. When asked even basic things like whether Secret Service agents were deployed on the sloped roof where the shooter was at, Cheatle responded by saying, "Sir, I'm sure, as you can imagine, that we are just 9 days out from this incident and there's still an ongoing investigation." Yes, because how could you answer a question as complex as, "Were there agents over there?" in only 9 days? She'll need at least 2 months minimum for that brain scratcher. But don't worry, Cheatle insisted that she was not covering anything up, which is basically saying, I'm not nefarious, just incompetent. So incompetent. Doesn't that make you feel better? She also said she's being as transparent as possible. Just understand that she may be limited in what she can say due to the associated risks with sharing highly sensitive protective methodologies. As you can imagine, it was quite frustrating for lawmakers to get anything out of Cheatle. Some, like Republican Representative Nancy Mace, said the thing that must have crossed a lot of people's minds. It's nice to actually see a congressperson speak honestly for a change. Cheatle managed to do something that not many can do these days: single-handedly unite both Republicans and Democrats to call for her resignation. Remember what happened to Stuart Knight, the guy in charge of the Secret Service, when someone tried to assassinate Reagan?
Do you know what Stuart Knight did when he was in charge at the time of the Secret Service? You know what he did afterwards?
He remained on duty.
He resigned. He resigned.
Ouch! Another example, Secret Service Director Julia Pearson resigned during the Obama administration after an armed man managed to jump the White House fence and enter the executive mansion. But despite initially refusing, Cheatle ultimately resigned after mounting pressure. It only took 10 days, well after the assassination attempt, and an entire hearing. Turns out it doesn't look good when you fail at your one job. To prevent a similar situation from happening again, congressional leaders agreed to form a bipartisan House task force on the Trump assassination attempt. 7 Republicans and 6 Democrats will be in it and try to piece together what exactly went wrong. Because believe me, like Michael Jackson's marriage to Lisa Marie Presley, there are definitely a lot of things that don't add up. For one, there are conflicting claims on whether the Secret Service rejected requests from Trump's team for greater protection. At first, the Secret Service denied it. Then it acknowledged that it had, in fact, rejected requests in the 2 years leading up to the attempted assassination. Which is absurd. Do you know how many enemies Trump has? Stone Cold Steve Austin is still out there waiting for his chance to give him another Stone Cold Stunner. But according to Cheatle, there were no requests that were denied for the Butler rally. When it comes to what happened during the actual assassination attempt, things get even murkier. The Secret Service reportedly ramped up security after getting intel of an Iran plot to assassinate Trump, which wouldn't be surprising given that Trump gave the go-ahead for a drone strike on Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Commander Qasem Soleimani back in 2020. And Trump is best buds with Hulk Hogan, rival to the late, great Iron Sheik. As far as we know, however, the lone assassin does not have any connection with Iran. And yet, despite ramping up security, he managed to climb his way up to the deadly, dangerous, perilous, sloped roof. Cheatle acknowledged reports that the shooter was identified as suspicious more than an hour before the shooting, and that he was spotted using a rangefinder to measure distance from his target. So what happened? Was he not suspicious enough? Did he have to blare his intention over a megaphone before an agent would say, maybe I should look into this? The story so far is that police spotted him, but failed to keep track of him until Butler Township officers checked out the building where he was at. One officer pulled himself up to the roof, but fell to the ground after Crooks pointed the gun at him and then aimed at Trump. But more was at play than just law enforcement losing track. There was a fog of confusion clouding the security failure at Trump's rally. Law enforcement authorities have conflicting recollections of their responsibilities there. During her hearing, Cheatle acknowledged that Secret Service agents had received multiple notifications of a person acting suspiciously. But she also said that the rooftop from which the shooter shot was being monitored by law enforcement. I guess they should have clarified law enforcement was also supposed to actually do something and not just monitor. We have video cameras for that. But according to all the local and state law enforcement agencies on the scene that day, they were not given the task of monitoring the roof by the Secret Service. I haven't seen a communication breakdown this disastrous outside of a couple's therapy session. According to the Wall Street Journal, both local authorities and the Secret Service appeared to have different impressions of where the Butler County Emergency Services Unit would be stationed. Some federal law enforcement officials had been under the impression that local police officers were supposed to be stationed on the roof. But the Butler County unit told the Secret Service it had no plans to be on the roof and would instead position members on the second floor to have eyes on the venue. Neither side seemed to get the memo that the roof was unsecure. Richard Goldinger, the district attorney in Butler County, Pennsylvania, said the Secret Service was informed that the local police department did not have manpower to assist with securing the building. The only way that building could have been any more insecure is if it bought a fancy car with a loud muffler. The contradictions don't end there, though. According to the Wall Street Journal, the Secret Service met with local law enforcement on July 8th, July 11th, and July 13th, the day of the rally. It cites a local law enforcement official saying that local snipers and Secret Service counter-snipers went over operational plans on the day of the rally. But according to preliminary findings published Sunday by Senator Ron Johnson's office, the Secret Service didn't attend a security briefing provided to local sniper and SWAT teams the morning of Trump's July 13th rally. Miscommunication may have also played a role in allowing Trump to go ahead with speaking despite early detection of the shooter. During her testimony, Cheatle seemed to suggest that the security team with Trump didn't know that the former president was facing an active threat before he went on stage, when she said if the detail had past information that there was a threat, the detail would never have brought the former president out on stage. Yikes! This was the biggest threat to Trump's safety since that no-good rattlesnake Steve Austin stone cold stunned him. Perhaps in the near future we'll learn more details, like how the shooter was able to get away with flying a drone at the rally, why the Secret Service opted to not fly its own drone that day, and most importantly, if they figured out how to use a gun holster. Keep a lookout for some future America Uncovered episodes to make sense of all this. If you like America Uncovered's nonpartisan take on news and politics, be sure to subscribe, smash that like button, and support the show on Patreon. All it takes is just $1 an episode. Just click on that orange button. And here's a video I want to show you from my new show, Deep Thoughts While Gaming, where I take a look at news, politics, and philosophy through the lens of gaming. Click here and let me know what you think. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. Thanks for watching America Uncovered.